Okay there, folks. I do hope you're well, one and all. I really do. Right. After yesterday, or was it the day before, I think that was the video, the war between the Tenerife vloggers, Just Rick and the Macmaster, Rick has got in touch via the comment section, which I'm pleased about, though he didn't need to do it, and he sent a pretty detailed response, so anybody that's looked at that video will be able to see it there. I say it won't get wiped, but I did want to respond to Rick and go through a few of the points that he's brought up, many of which I don't disagree with, but I'd just like to give my side towards doing the video and so on and so forth. I'll have to put the bins on to do this. I've had an accident. I've lost my reading glasses. These are my old reading glasses, so hopefully they'll work. I've got the distance glasses and I can't find my new reading glasses with anything. I don't know where they are. So it's going to be a bit embarrassing. So I'm going to be up to the camera, so that means you're going to see everything, viewers. I do apologise. I'm nowhere near as polished as Rick. Right, he got back to me. Now let me just say this before we start. Firstly, in the title, The War, that could be classed as clickbait. There's been a big thing made about clickbait over the last 8 days, hasn't there? I very rarely use clickbait, and to be honest with you, one of the reasons is it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't work for me either way. In a weird way, a word got mentioned earlier on this week by one of the Tenerife vloggers. I think it was shocking. And I put shocking on 3 messages of mine to see how they performed. For me, they didn't do much. I did double shocking on one of them. But I'll just tell you quickly before I go through Rick's reply, just to give you an idea of how my site works. The Tenerife vloggers, I did one in the week called Tenerife vloggers OMG, oh my god. You've maybe not seen that one, Rick. That covers the whole subject as well. It's had 44 views. The word shocking, I put the word shocking in a title about Rasmus Højlund, that's the Man United attacker. It was one of my weird, funny videos, you know, just stupid really. But anyway, it's been watched by more than 396. I did something about football rulings, all about really the VAR and the latest sending offs, handballs and all that palaver. Been watched by 128. And then I did something about missed debates on the post office, which at the moment everybody is talking about. I mean, everyone and the dog, it's on every news channel, it's on everything. Well, although I did shocking twice in the title, it didn't help me, 127. Now, the Vloggers War, the one we're going to discuss now, the one that Rick's replied to, it's only been watched by 155. No problems there. The reasons for this, Rick and everybody else, is I am a smaller channel. I'm a newer channel. So, although somebody might do clickbait towards a title, if somebody's getting 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views on everything they do, or even for that matter, 20, 25 or 30,000 views, if they clickbait it up, because they're getting the views anyway, because YouTube, because they've hit a certain amount of thumbs up and views, are pushing it to lots of other people, then lots of other people then are seeing shocking in the title, or oh my god in the title, or if it's Tenerife based, Tenerife in the title, and they're going to open it because they're going to be interested. But my videos aren't getting pushed to anybody because I very rarely hit them numbers. It's like very, very, very rare. I've got a few at 5,000, but they were slow burners. They might have been released 2 days early, and then on day 3, a few of them just to watch it within an hour. I've got lucky. Lots probably have given it a thumbs up because I don't know the numbers you have to hit with YouTube to get the design amount where they push it more. They've started to push it and they've taken off. None of these have. It isn't a problem. The war bit, I want to mention that first before I go through Rick's message. I've actually been out on my grandchild's birthday date. It was an early one. We was out for a good few hours though. We went back to the house, opening presents and all that palaver. I read Rick's message. I've got to admit, I put it in my short reply from the toilet. I won't tell you anymore. I know it's not that pleasant. But I'm on the old carsy there. Did people say that? Oh, I've just said it anyway. And I've just looked at the messages that have come through this morning. There's about 8 or 10 of them, and I'm replying to them, and I've come across Rick's. Anyway, I don't look at messages and do them in the right order. I tend to go on my message and go from the first to the second to the third to the fourth. And Rick's was about 6, 7, 8 down. So I'd already replied to somebody who'd sent a couple of messages about the video and about Rick and about the Macmaster. And I'd replied to them before I even sent Rick a reply. Now in Rick's reply I just put, look, I'm really sorry, having an everyday, blah, 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 blah. Actually on the throne now, but we'll reply to this later and we'll do it as an extra video. Reason being is, although it might take me a few minutes to do, it'll be more understood, it'll come across better than the text, but because his message is so pretty long, I didn't want to be typing forever and taking 15 minutes to do it. I find it easy to talk, as you can see, and I'd rather talk the way through it than type it all. But if anybody wants to see Rick's message there, you will find it underneath the Tenerife Vloggers War, just Rick v the Mapmaster. It's there in its entirety, and it always will be, unless Rick pulls it. I don't know if Rick can pull it from my side. I don't think he can. Not that he would. Not that he would. But before I go any further, let me just say the war was a little bit of clickbait, but it is a war in a roundabout way, but nothing nasty. I'm not saying it's really, really nasty. But there's a difference of opinion, and lots of people have jumped on different bandwagons and whatever else. Some have just kept the middle ground, and some have said nothing. But it has really, really shown probably the Tenerife vlogging community in a slightly different light, more so over the last week than probably any time in the last year or two that I've been watching the various channels. So the war was a bit tongue-in-cheek. I'm not classing it as a war, Rick. I'm really not. What I will say is, because as I say, when I got back in today, I've got 6 or 7 messages there. One sent something about you, Rick, that was really, really nasty. I just passed it by. It's not got a reply. You'll find it somewhere. It might have been on this title. It might have been on another title. Another one said that you're not great, you're not this, you're not that, and the Mapmaster's great. I messaged back, just said, well, I've nothing against the Mapmaster, but I really like Rick. That's what I messaged back. That's even before putting this on here. Before I go any further, Rick, and anybody else watching, you may have already done this by now, Rick, you may not. I know you say you've seen this title just because it's clickbaity and you just look through things. I wouldn't be at all surprised if one of the people that follow your channel hasn't mentioned it to you, but I could be wrong. But as of about 10, 11 o'clock last night, I did look at your latest 2 videos, and there was nothing on there about me or anything I put on here, because I've covered it a lot since probably Sunday of last week, the day after it all sort of blew up. I've done a series on various vloggers on the island and other places as well, people that I watch. I did mention it on this video that you've watched, that you've replied to, so you probably know that. And you probably watched the one I've done on you, but if you've not, if you get the chance, just find the time to do it. I'm sure you have done, but get the time, if you can, and have a look at it, and it's there for you. That was called, what was it called? Bear with me a second. YouTube and me. Just an N. YouTube and me. There's a row of vlogs in there. You featured in 2 of them, to be honest with you. As it turns out, you bookended them. The first one I did, and the last one I did. If you want to have a look, you can. If not, no problem. Right, let's get down to this. Now, let's get ready to rumble, as the 2 idiots that present on TV now used to say. All right, morning. This is Rick talking. This is not me. Morning. Hope you are well. Having watched your vlog this morning, there are a few things I would like to add. Firstly, the reason I have never mentioned the restaurant of the vlogger in question is because the actual video I did wasn't specifically about the situation. It was about the direction vlogging in Tenerife was going in general. This instance was just the example for my argument. Now, I would say, Rick, you should have mentioned the restaurant. I've already said that. There's not only the one I've done that you've seen. There's a couple more I've done. As I've done vlogs on various YouTubers, the ones that got involved in it, like yourself, the Mapmaster, what's his name, the mate of yours, Darren John, but mainly Daz Preston. I've mentioned bits in it in those. Plus I've done the Oh My God one as well, Oh My God, the Tenerife Vloggers. So I've had comments about all to do with this restaurant, and also all to do with what I believe Andrew said about pickpockets and so on and so forth. I've had comments on that as well and give my view. Not that it's to me to do it, but that's what I've done. But I think at the outset, Rick, even if you didn't want to mention the Mapmaster, and obviously you didn't, you should have mentioned the restaurant. Because nobody can find it, nobody can see it, and nobody knows if they agree with you. Yeah, all your followers are going to agree with you, as 85 or 95% of them have done. But I think you'd have probably had... It's easy to agree with someone because we like them. It's even easier when we see the evidence that you're putting out there and watching it for ourselves and thinking, yeah, he's spot on. Although many agree with you anyway, they do that because they love you, because they follow you. They do that because the sentiment's right. But they may well have watched the video and may have thought, well, it's not that bad what he's done, or maybe it is. I mean, even to now, to this stage, I don't know what the restaurant is. I've mentioned it 3 or 4 times. I'm guessing it's Harriet's, but I don't know. But I'd love to know. And as I say, I've said on here already, the Harriet's one, I've seen the start of it, flicked all the way through it, and I just waited till the end when they gave the scores. So I don't know what they've said whilst they were in there. But if I knew which the review was, I would watch it fully. If it's that, I'd watch it fully. If not, I'd love to go back to it, see which it is. And I do agree with most everything you say, or said. I've already said that already. But then again, I don't disagree with the Mapmaster doing what he's done. But That's nothing to do with this. That's nothing to do with this at all. I just think you should have done or said the name of the restaurant at the outset. That would have helped, even if you didn't want to use his name. Even if then somebody watching it thinks, well, it must be the Mapmaster. This is the restaurant, and no one else has reviewed this in 2 or 3 weeks. You're still not mentioning his name because you don't want to do that, but you mentioned the restaurant, and then you're backing up what you said when you were walking with old Rolo there, saying, we've been at there many times, it's fantastic, we often do. It's got 4.5 or 4.8 on TripAdvisor, blah, 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 bump. And as I say, you could have done what I said and gone back in there 3 days later, done your own review, and said, look, someone else has said it was crap. Again, I've come in again, it's brilliant. So I think you should name the restaurant. You didn't do, that's up to you, that's your prerogative. Right, you put once all the good stuff has been done, and you put in brackets, which it has, then what? We all start vlogging the not so good stuff. What good is that for the island? Well, Rick, I don't think all the good stuff has been done. I don't at all. You might mean just walking vlogs. You might mean showing some of the scenery there. I mean, you might showing like Mount Tidy and whatever else. You might mean eating in restaurants. But look, there's plenty of places that you walk to Rolo where some people have mentioned in the last few days things being a dump and this and that. I know they're not. I agree with you 100% on that. It's a fantastic place, fantastic island. But we see more places with you than most anybody else. You could probably, rather than just walk in them, do more reviews on them. I seen you did some places about 3 months ago now. I think you did them on your own channel. I don't think it was with Shelley, but it could have been, where you went to the place that you said does the best pints on the island, which is where you used to live near the Gulf, I think. That's a place that doesn't often get reviewed. You know, there was bars in a square there. They could be reviewed. But as I said on the video, I think that I did at the start of the 11 videos I've done, channels that I watch, the first one of them all was about yourself and Shelley's channel. And I put on there, it's really refreshing what you guys do because you pick some places that nobody else goes to. The problem with all these vloggers is they constantly go to the same places. I mean, you went the other week to a backstreet place that does kebabs. Fantastic review. Nobody's been there before. It's something nobody would do. You went to one the other week where you said you believe it's the best steak on the island. And it was a little Spanish-owned place, if memory serves, in a little centre there upstairs. A place that nobody'd normally go to or nobody'd find, other than those that know it. You've done that on a few occasions. You go into places that others aren't. And there's loads and loads and loads of other places there. You know, I mean, for me, one of the best restaurants, I mean, I stay in Adeki, is Mario's, the Mario's near the Pheasant Plucker. I probably had, I'm on about over lots and lots of trips, 40 meals in there. I did have one bad one. If I was reviewing, I'd tell the truth and say it's bad. But I would say, I come in here, God knows how many times, it's brilliant. The menu is vast. The prices are really keen, as in not giveaway, but nowhere near as expensive as others. And the food is fantastic. The service is brilliant. Never seen anybody review it. Never. And I think the food is really, really good. As I say, the place behind the Star Bar, Sunday lunches, one of the best on the island. Shelley loves a Sunday lunch, loves a gravy. She'd love it. Nobody does it. You know, it's not the kind of place, not dead salubrious where everybody go, but the food is great. You know, I've never seen anybody do a review on the Embassy. I seen Des Preston out there the other week talking about it outside of it, said it's best meal he'd had in the first 4 or 5 days, but he didn't do a food review. That is a bit dearer. The Embassy's fantastic. There's the other Mario's near the roundabout, near the beer garden that you go to. Don't know if they're in the same ownership. I've only been there once, really disappointed, never been since. Could have been a one-off. But I think the Mario's at the Pheasant Plucker's miles better. It's not as much money spent on it, not as classy, but brilliant. So there's loads and loads more you can find, Rick, and you do a review really well with Shelley. Look for other restaurants. It's not all been done to death. It's been done to death in the places where people go absolutely non-stop. I think I've seen yourself possibly, but I'm not sure. I think I've seen the Mapmaster. I think I've seen Dan and John. I think I've seen the Night Rider, all doing Harriets. They all do the same places. And many of these people come back to the island year on year. And as I say, most every time they come back, they do them again. Or they might miss it once and then do it again. You don't do that. You go to one place, don't go to it again, and then do something else. Great. But you tend to find places that nobody else is doing. Even better. Right, so I don't agree it's all been done. But maybe you know better than me, you're there. As pioneers for filming content in Tenerife, others will follow and copy styles of certain vloggers. In brackets, to which people already have started doing this, close brackets, including one fairly new vlogger slating the same restaurant using the words, "I have heard good and bad reviews about this place. Use it at your own risk. This video has amassed 15,000 views and the person has never even entered the premises. Is that right? Should that be allowed?" Well, as for being allowed, nobody can stop it. Is that right? No, of course it's not. But he's done it. He's obviously all right, George Rule. He doesn't know what he's doing. But people that listen to that don't go in there because the guy says, "I've seen a bad review on this, the food is terrible, going at your own risk." I'm not going to listen to him. You're correct, there are people that will, because people are like sheep. There's some idiots about. Who's going to listen to a vlogger that's not been in and tasted the food? You can't make an opinion up of any restaurant until you go in there. You've got to give it a go. And as I said in past videos I've done, I can go in a restaurant 10 times and have one awful meal. A couple meals just not bad at all. But I can go 7 times and it's brilliant. Well, if 7 out of 10 is brilliant, I still keep going in there again and just hope I don't get that awful meal again. But it's very rare a great place gives you an awful meal. I do say that myself, you know. So no, it shouldn't be allowed. The guy is obviously an idiot. He's obviously just jumping on a bandwagon, but people do. You know, your mate Des Preston jumped on your bandwagon last week. You didn't ask him to, but you know, outside that convenience store, that don't go in there. The vapes are crap. The place is crap. Don't go in that pub. The food is crap. The blah is crap. No, I'm joking. I've never been in that pub. I believe it's nice. But there's been a lot of people in Tenerife saying and doing it. Nobody needs to jump on anybody's bandwagon. Let people do their own videos and make up their own minds. That's what I say. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Right, where do we go from there? The video that you did was about being careful. The whole direction of videoing was gone because, as I said in the first 15 seconds, there will come a time when business owners will not want vloggers in their business, and I still stand by that. I get where you're coming from, Rick, if you get a review that's really, really that bad, and more importantly, 4 or 5 follow it. But how many times have I heard you say, and I believe you, that you've been back in a restaurant after you've been 2-3 months ago and people are shaking you by the hand, raving about you, saying it's unbelievable. The extra business I've had since you've done the review, or the amount of people that come on the internet checking us out or asking questions about it is fantastic. So I don't agree with that, Rick. If I've got a restaurant in Tenerife and I do good food 95% of the time and endeavour to do it 100% of the time, and somebody comes in here and does me a cracker review, even if it's only watched by 3,000 or 4,000 people, but a person that's got loads of followers like yourself, you might have as many as some, no, you might not, but you've got plenty enough. The thing is with your vloggers, they love you. Not your vloggers, your followers. They absolutely love you. They love all the rest. I know they do. But I would suggest your people love you probably even more than any other followers. I would suggest. Others might disagree, but I would suggest that because of the way you interact with them and because you do more lives than anybody else. Lives carry a lot of weight. And with the lives, you're getting a constant reaction all the time. You're building a bond because as you're doing your live, you're messaging back and too. I seen one that Colin did the other day. I've seen bits of 2 of them in Cole's place. I actually said on the review I did of these that it had only 5,000 views. It should be a lot more. I was well wrong. It was 300 or 400 views. But it should have been more. He's not probably as polished as yourself and Shelley. But he deserves more because the stuff he was saying in there and whatever else was good. And I liked him and I like the way he delivers. But you've got a really good brand and you've got really loyal followers that like you and that interact. They interact with you at least twice a week whilst you're doing lives. I mean, it shows. I mean, the fact that you can get 250, 300 people on a Sunday afternoon messaging back and too whilst you're talking, some might say that's not a lot. It's absolutely loads. It's brilliant. And they love you for it. So, I don't know. Right, wait a minute. Right. That will come a time, blah, 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 blah. Secondly, war with the Mapmaster. Not at all, you say. The great thing about YouTube gives you freedom of speech. But don't come and negatively talk about where I live and love just for views. That there is no need. You're not saying that to me, you're saying to the Mapmaster. As I say, I don't really think he was doing that, Rick, but that's another thing altogether. If it was Harriet's, again, you see, I can only talk from a place of what I think we're discussing because we're not knowing what the review is in the place. I don't know what we're discussing. That's why I believe there should have been something out there saying where it was we were looking at. Talk about where I live just for views. There is no need. I get where you're coming from. I'm not so sure he did that. If it was Harriet's, at the end of it, everybody that went in there praised the place and said it's normally absolutely brilliant. So I don't think they've run the place down, but it may not have been Harriet's. If people want to watch negative videos and reaction videos, good for them. but don't come into my area and start calling it for how bad it is just for views. I also have the same right of freedom of speech, do I not? Of course you do. 100% you do. As I say, I believed, when I started watching your video, I was 100% on your side. And as the video went on and as I started to think, because I've got my own mind and whatever else, and I'm clever enough to distance myself, or I believe I am, and look at it from both ends, I thought, well, I've seen the Matt Master reviewing stuff. I've seen him rating things. I think I said in the video, I don't necessarily understand always the 7s and 8s, 9s out of 10s, but yeah, maybe I do. It's his style. I definitely don't understand when he asks viewers to rate it, although I think his mate Jeff Carter does that more, which is what I said again there as well. Because as I say, you can't rate a place without actually eating there. But I don't ever find he's ever nasty and really nasty for being nasty. Now, I have seen some things in your comment sections, not of you, of some of your subscribers, and I've seen things on my channel where some people are saying that Matt Master's this, he's that, he's bad, he's this, he's that. They don't like him. Nobody really knows what he's like. He treats people awfully, should I say. He doesn't review places favourably if he doesn't get free meals. Now, a lot of that might be true, but I doubt that. But then again, I don't know. I did a video about the Matt Master about 3 months ago and he was ill. I don't believe for one moment he was anything but ill or worried about himself at the time. Again, I noticed one person in your comment section about a week ago said he was putting it on, he was trying it on just to get extra views and sympathy. I don't think he's done that, but I don't know him. All I know is when I put that video out, it was only watched by 200 or 300 people, but I had about 2 or 3 people coming on, thanking me for doing it, saying he's absolutely brilliant, saying I've been with him since day one, saying he's just fantastic and he really cares about his followers. Again, that's what they were telling me. It may not be the case, I don't know. I really don't. I know we use clickbait from time to time with bits, but everybody does, yourself included. And all I will say is this, as I said the other day, I did one of the videos I did, I think you might not have seen this, Rick, although you may have done. I listed the last 10 or 12 videos that I can see online on my YouTube feed, and I'm looking along them, and one's got 20, 25, 35, 40, 60,000, blah, 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 blah. Obviously with electric cars, he's got even more on many of them. But he's getting thousands of views and doing a lot of videos. Not as many Scotsman does, but more than most. And I think to myself, on the odd video where he might have used clickbait, like the one if it's in this restaurant, it was about 5 or 10,000 more. But I don't think he's thinking, clickbait to get more, I need more. Because when you get that many views and that many videos, I don't think 5 or 10,000 here or there really matter to him. If he was getting 1,000 per video and clickbait took him up to 10,000 or 20,000, I think he would use that and do it all the time and go over the top with it and maybe do the wrong thing, use it for the wrong reasons. But when he's getting what he's getting, I don't think he's thinking, right, as much clickbait as I can, let's get people really watching this, because I think he's got the views anyway. But I may be wrong. Right, where are we up to after that? Wait a minute. But yeah, freedom of speech, of course you've got it, Rick, 110%. There's no doubt about that. And you use it, and I'm glad you do, and that's one of the reasons I watch your channel. And if it were a war, I would be pretty useless at it. No, you did pretty well, Rick. The comment on your reaction video that came out, I think, yesterday, in the last 20 seconds tells me that. I felt less bad about myself doing my videos. When I heard that, I thought, well, Rick can stand up for himself, no doubt about that. You'll know what it is, and if not, review your video. And I'm not having a pop at it. You can say whatever you want. I know Tenerife in a title would hit the algorithm hard and the sub count. Well, as I say, it doesn't with me. It may with others, but it doesn't with me because I'm not getting the views to start with, which is fine. That's not me complaining, it's not. I know clickbait titles would help the growth. Well, as I say, again, I know they do. It doesn't for me, but I know they do. But I think some people need them more than others, and I don't think he is one of the ones. Same as Andrew, the Night Rider. I don't think he needs it. Everybody uses it, but everybody. Darren uses it from time to time, your mate. He needs it a bit more because he's in between. He's not got as low a subscriber count as myself or yourself, and no disrespect. He's like an in-between, but he's not up to the levels of the Night Strider, the Matt Master, Scotsman in Tenerife. He's an in-between, and he releases less videos per week or per month. So I think now and again clickbait does help him a little bit. I think he needs it more than all of us in different ways. I might be wrong, but that's just how I see it. I'm not saying he's bad with it or anything. I'm just saying that's just an observation. Wait a minute. Right, because Tenerife has been using 7% of your titles on your strict channel for a reason. Because it's not about winning. Well, again, you didn't have to tell me that because I'll listen to the videos you've done. You've mentioned it in there, which is fine, but that, whether you use it on every single video or not, that's down to you. It doesn't matter to me at all. And finally, as I mentioned, clickbait is actively encouraged on YouTube by YouTube itself, but there are different styles that you may be aware of. Well, to be honest with you, Rick, I didn't know it was mentioned in there. I keep telling people I'm the world's biggest technophobe, and I am. And I've seen the YouTube studio and all that. I don't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm monetized now. I'm trying to get my daughter one day next week to try and sort out. I've got some idea I've got to send to her and whatever else, and I started doing it, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thick as the proverbial. I really am. So I mean, I've not even got myself sorted yet. I'm in buttons anyway, but that's the by the by. I can't even do that. I was looking at putting doing stuff on the YouTube studio where I can put graphics. I don't want to get into graphics, but on the thumbnails and you know, put things onto them like you do yourself, like the Map Master and everything else. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never even looked at it. It's over my head. But that's by the by. For my channel, I don't need that. I can get by with I'm happy with what I'm doing, so I've got no issue there. But I didn't know clickbait was actively, in YouTube and blah, blah. I didn't know. I'm not that well on clickbait. Anyway, clickbaiting to warn someone, of course. However, in my eyes, the video you are referring to, I see as clickbaiting. Well, I don't know what video I'm referring to. As I say, that's the big thing for me. I wish I did know. For scaremongering and profiteering out of people's fear. Insinuating the area that has been spoken about was dangerous. This is the other subject now. But the 200 metres around the corner near a certain bar, someone may have an interest in was as safe as houses. I'm guessing, which I need to reread that. I've not read that properly, but I'm guessing 200 metres away from all the issues is a place called Buddy's Bar. We might be talking about that, but I don't know. I hope this clears up a few points. It clears up loads, Rick, but as I say, you didn't need to put them because I'm with you on them all, because I've watched all your videos and I know where you're at with your videos. Thanks for getting involved. It was your clickbait title that dragged me in, saying that to myself. Well done, in brackets. Have a great Sunday, and I will see you next time. You are over to discuss further. All the best, Rick. Very cordial, very, very good. It's already got one thumbs up. I'll put a thumbs up myself in a moment. I've already sort of sent a message back, which you can see on their viewers. But as I say, the war bit is the clickbaity bit. But I mean, it's got me 140 viewers, so it's not done great. But Rick, if you get a chance and you've not already done it, have a look at the bit I've done on your channels, and have a look on the bits I've done on all the rest, and just see what you think. As I say, I do a bit different than everybody else. We're all honest to different degrees, and I think you are one of the most honest people of all the ones on there. I'm sort of brutally honest, though. I mean, I'm digging into people and whatever. That's nothing to do with me, but I'm doing it for a reason. I'm letting my viewers know, and others, but my viewers know, why I've got into YouTube, what started it out, who I've seen, and it was yourselves I've seen first, if you've not already seen that, yourself and Shelley. What gave me ideas for my channel, who gave me the thought that, well, if he can do that, doing what he's doing, I can do that, and so on and so forth. And I've just done a journey from start to finish. But I can't review anything without being 100% honest with everything. And we all say we're honest. I mean, if I'd have done that what you did last Saturday, I'd have said it's a review of this place, and the Map Master's done it. Nothing against the Map Master at all. I've got no issue with him at all. And by the way, he's doing really well for himself. He goes all over the UK and other places. He goes abroad. He does this. He does that. He's got 100 and God knows how many subscribers. I've only got this. There's no jealousy. There's no nothing. But I do not think he should have reviewed that restaurant as he did. Because I know for a fact I've been in that restaurant 4 or 5 times. It's brilliant. Never had a bad meal. Wonderful people. Wonderful owners. And to that end, I'm going to go in there with Shelley next week. I'm going to make a point of it. We're going to order a meal. Probably we're going to order different meals than they had. And we're going to give you our honest opinion. But if it's not great and up to standard, we'll tell you. We might not be as harsh as the Map Master, but we'll tell you. Because I don't want that restaurant losing custom because of that review. And I think he went too far. Others may not. I think he went too far. Yes, every YouTuber should be able to do what he wants to do. He doesn't tell me what to do, neither does anybody else. And if they did, I probably wouldn't listen to them. And he shouldn't necessarily do what I tell him not to do, and he doesn't have to listen. But to my mind, I don't think he should have left that review. I'd have done something like that, Rick, but we're all different, you know. I think I've covered everything. I've rambled, but I tend to ramble, as you already know. But just look at that review I've done on your own channel and whatever else, and, you know, you don't have to tell me what you think. I don't need a reply. I really don't need. I'm not after any replies. I'm not after you having a go at me. I'm not after a pat on the back. I'm not after anything. But have a look at it. It might or might not surprise you, but you might have already seen it. All right, thank you anyway. That is the end of the video. Let me look for how to knock the thing off now. God, 29 minutes. I do apologise, one and all. But I think I've covered a few points there.